Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and a brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. This is a very special video because I'm going to show you in a guide format how I got a Legends title, what I needed to spend in relevant areas, what masteries I needed, what champions I used in order to achieve this feat, but something in the game that I always wanted to do, the timings, the kind of resources that are available to us and the knowledge that you need in order to make a good stab at this Legends run. One thing I do want to say that this is prior to the release of 6 stars in Marvel Contest of Champions and will completely change the Legends run when it comes to be at the start of January 2018, and I will look to do a follow-up video to this Legends run guide. And obviously if you're new to the channel and want to give it a little subscribe and follow me, RichTheMan, then please do by hitting that subscribe button. So let's get into this video. So let's start with the beginning, and with any kind of run in any type of event quest, and that's what we're going to be focusing largely the event quest side of things. You'll need to get an understanding of the champions that are being put into the competition. Now with any Legends run, it only clarifies it as being a heroic and master completion in the quickest time possible. But however, I do recommend, in order to understand champions a little bit more, it's always best to do the normal mode first, because still you can apply your kind of points for completion and other stuff and other content. But you get to learn largely about new champions coming into Marvel Contest of Champions by completing the normal mode first. Granted, yes, it's not going to be as tough as Master, as that being the most toughest, but at the same time you get to understand moves, heavy attacks, specials, and the way that the champion operates. When you reach Master, the enemy champions are going to be a little bit more faster, so understanding is the best platform that you can have. So do normal as a start point to kind of understand these champions. Or follow Marvel Contest of Champions YouTubers that are streaming the Heroic and Master to kind of find out, you know, the way and how tough they are, what kind of frequency they are with regards to their specials, those kind of things that you'll find for free without having to go into Heroic and Master yourself. The next thing, and one of the most important things, is the champion selection. This is a very kind of grey area and a very particular area because people will kind of respond to different champions in different ways. But largely you have to look at damage output, and damage output can be labelled within different kind of aspects. You've got champions like I used in my fight, which was Captain Marvel, based on the way the champion works with Fury, with regards to building up power, and with the fact that she's got Absorb as well, which I kind of like that. She was a champion that I think was quite good for that. The same thing can be said for using a character like Iron Fist and you know, Storm that's awakened, Star-Lord. There's loads of different things about those champions that are quite unique. But you know, there's people that will say, hey, well, I'll use this champion, you know, Gwenpool. I'll use this champion, Dr. Voodoo, and they'll find that that'll be able to get them a speedy kind of point to start and then end. And it's all about quick, intense damage and kind of knocking everything out. The biggest recommendation that I can make, as well as everybody makes, is use rank 4 5 stars. Why? Because of the damage output, and that's something that you're going to be best off getting. The most highest ranked champion that you can get in the game at the moment is a rank 4 5 star. This will change in 2018 when 6 stars are being introduced into the game, and we can get our 5 stars up to rank 5. This will then change the platform of where a Legends run is done, but for the time being, and the point of releasing this video, you've got to the end of December to then do a Legends run and complete. One thing that's vitally important to remember, you can only do a Legends run within the first 2 weeks of the event being released. So it's you know, it's September the 11th or 12th, and you only have a few more days to then get in within the first 2 weeks. After that, you will not be able to go for a Legends run. So this is applicable to October, November, and early December. So we've talked about champions and, you know, what to do with regards to preparations. Let's move on to the next part of preparations, which is Synergies. Now, I ran a Synergy team when I was using my Captain Marvel. I chose to kind of pad this with a mutant team. Why? Well, I had Storm in with that, so I thought if I made a mistake, then Storm can help back up this champion. Also Wolverine, but you know, it's your choice really on the matter. However, the mutant team that I've set up does mean that we get increased critical damage, critical rating. There's also an increase to critical damage again to attack, and then special attack damage, which unfortunately doesn't really apply to Captain Marvel, but will be helpful to Storm if I was to use her in any circumstance. Again, critical rating, and we've got perfect block chance, and then with Magneto we've got critical rating again, the attack increase, and then some critical damage rating increase as well. So the critical damage rating is really helpful for that, and obviously a little bit of attack. People can opt to use different synergy groups. Like I said, the reason that I chose that one was based on the champions Captain Marvel, and then having Storm as the backup to that. And you could, if you wanted to, just do a Nemesis team. There's so many different configurations with Synergies, but obviously the reason that I chose Mutant was based on the champions that I have. Also, that critical rating was really nice, a little bit of critical damage as well, so it just really kind of helped pad in a very aggressive champion around those crits, and also a little bit of the crit rating and damage. Now let's talk about cost. Then the first thing is that energy refills obviously cost units, and obviously you need plenty of them. I kept 1,500 units when I went for the Legends run. I put it was usually about 1,000 to 1,200 back for the energy refills, and the extra 300 units were largely to do with mistakes that potentially I could make during my Legends run. If you're doing this for free, then try and save back some revives as well as some health potions, just in case that sometimes it doesn't work out. A full amount of the level 2s and also plenty of the level 3s. Really can't stress it enough if you are prone to make mistakes. And if you're looking for some free farming techniques of how to get these, then please look in the description. I've put a link to a video that I did all about this. So our next topic is Masteries, and obviously people will opt for using a Suicide Mastery. There's two options of links that I'm going to put and we're going to talk about now. The first thing is by mobilesector.net, and this is a guide which was done by Furiox, and this is a really kind of like fun and interesting mastery guide that has a whole section of different things, the basics, and it goes further on and talks about kind of bleed groups, talks about your kind of boss killers. It's a real kind of padded and a very kind of extensive kind of link of different champions to use with these different synergy groups, from Mystic Destroyer, and also there's kind of like heavy artillery and things, and it talks about prices as well, and it's quite a good resource to kind of understand a few things with regards to mastery setups, and you can get some good ideas with regards to general improvement of your power index. However, though, it's not very specific. Where I found the best mastery advice was from a video by Invincible, or Invincible, however you want to describe it, or the name of it. But yeah, I found that his video was the most helpful. There are a few things with regards to Ronin Noops in a kind of a stream with Dork Lessons. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. However, though, I found this build more helpful to what I wanted to achieve. I was thinking about building something myself, but I'd largely kind of look to someone that has had an extensive Legend run experience, and Invincible has had that experience, so obviously the trusted source is always the best source. Okay, so the next thing is boosts, and there's obviously two ways of looking at boosts. The first way to look at boosts is this very kind of advanced boost pack here, and in here there is 30% increases in certain boosts, and then 20% in attack, and then 25% in greater health. Has been advised not to use the greater health one based on your Suicide Mastery, so it's up to you what you want to do with that. However, though, based on the amount of time that you'll be grinding out a Legends run, which could be anywhere between like 3 and 4 hours, I probably would recommend to have this as well as other boosts saved. So this is 1,400. The greater attack boost boosts the attack of your champion by 20% for 1 hour, which is great because the other boosts are not an hour long. Some of them aren't an hour long. So that's a bit of an issue, because when you're concentrating on doing your grinds and kind of grinding through, you don't want to be concentrating. You want to be concentrating and not looking back and going, oh, I need to put on a boost. So it's always good to kind of put these on because they last for an hour and you don't have to lose your concentration. There's also a greater champion boost, which is for your health and also for your attack as well. And obviously you can have both running at the same time. But this is a price of 1,400 units. So maybe your kind of pricing is going to be a little bit off, and you might need to save up some more units. The kind of normality with the boosts are that obviously we've got these ones here for 30 units. It may be recommended based on the time frame. Obviously with here the 10% one, is for 20 minutes, and obviously you're going to be constantly putting that back on. So when you're doing your alliance events and you're getting that special boost that's there, then make sure to kind of keep that back. Save those boosts back for another occasion. The lesser attack boost as well, same issue, that it's 15 minutes. So you may want to kind of use these in the very early stages, and then when you reach the master level, then start putting on. So when you're doing a timer, and obviously we'll talk about stopwatch and times to put in for the Legends run, you want to concentrate on, I'd say, the last kind of stretch, kind of putting on the last 3 hours, because it's going to be around about 4 hours that you're going to be grinding out. So for the first hour, there's kind of like lower boosts, maybe better, and then putting on the other ones then. Or if you're a real whale, then you can buy 2 lots of the advanced quest bundle, and then you'll be doing it a lot quicker. So let's talk about your playing style. Your playing style has got to be a lot more like arena, where it's got to be fast paced. So you've got to make sure that what you're doing is you're kind of parrying and then hitting through as quickly as possible. You want to make sure that you're clicking constantly to kind of end loading screens. It's got to be done as, again, quickly as possible, just to go on to that next stage. So parry, hitting in, and we want to kind of execute the enemy as quickly as possible without any kind of hits. Intercept, that's one thing, you've got to do that. So as you can see here, it's then you're constantly just kind of like clicking really, next fight, quickly going. You've got to be quickly going, getting into that fight, into the next fight, and making sure that you're then doing as much damage as possible. So that's where the kind of the gem is really. You know, you've got to end those ending screens as quickly as possible. Parry, hit in, parry, hit in. Obviously try not to avoid getting hit by specials, but it's all about ending the opponent as quickly as possible. Granted, they'll do specials, slow you up, but you have to then be in again, hitting through, done. That's the name of the game. Parry, go, intercept whenever you can, hit, and make sure obviously with the suicides on, that you're the one doing the damage, trying not to take as much damage as possible, and getting through into the next battle. And obviously other champions may vary with regards to the way you play them. When I played Captain Marvel, it was very aggressive because it needed to be aggressive. I could absorb certain things, I needed to build power in order to then land more attack kind of damage. However, though, with champions like Star-Lord, you need to build that combo meter in order to, you know, smack out the enemy. If you're using characters like Iron Fist, then that's all about getting those stacks of armor break in order to then hit into the enemy. Depending on what champion you use, Hulk may be another option based on like Fury and the extent of damage. Yes, you'd have to keep yourself below 25% in order to really stand a chance of kicking ass. But then it depends on like how you play your champions, which champion is your biggest high damage champion out of doing the suicide masteries. And obviously, if you've got champions that are poison immune, this can be helpful for things like liquid courage, because, well, they poison, so therefore poison immune champions aren't affected by this. You see where I'm going with this? So using Captain Marvel, using, you know, Hulk, that could be an option there, and you're not reducing your kind of like health quite as badly against that, so it could work out really well for yourself. I guess this is the big snagging point, and that's all about your device. Okay, so if you have an Android that's the most kind of like top of the range Android device, even like a Nvidia Shield tablet, it may be the best option for you to go for. Samsung devices that have lower loading times may be an option, but any device, even the One device, I can't remember what the device is. It's the Plus 5 or whatever it is as well. That could be an option. There's loads of different kind of like modern tech, and as Android devices kind of evolve and get better, then they will kind of look to be a bit better with regards to loading times. But with regards to this, I used an iPhone 7 Plus. Anything iPhone 6, 6 Plus, 7 Plus, 7, and as well we've got the 8 coming soon. Those are going to be brilliant for loading times in the game, so you're not going to experience any lag. As well, everything's going to be quick paced, and it's going to be great for you to potentially get that Legends run. Okay, so you're just about ready to get into doing your Legends run. But you also have to consider some kind of pointers from the community. And if you go to Marvel Contest of Champions forum page, and link will be in the description, in the search bar, put in Legends Run, and what it will do is it will probably put up some information with regards to people that have just done a Legends Run prior to yourself thinking about it. And you'll get a kind of an idea from people with regards to time. Please take this with a pinch of salt, but also use it as a kind of a guide time. A lot of people will say, you know, it's about 4:15. If you can do 4 hours and 15 minutes, then usually you have got yourself a Legends badge. Obviously, this will differ and change once 6 stars are put into the game, and obviously it differs based on certain kind of nodes and stuff, and the way that the portals may be running at a certain time. Okay, so now let's have a look at the kind of the secret tips that I need to give you. So one thing is that you need a stopwatch because obviously you need to kind of time yourself. You need to be looking at the time and kind of challenging yourself. Like, I need to get this done as quickly as possible. Heroic, you know, I need to blast through this as quickly as possible. Make sure that obviously you kind of guide yourself as a time. Let's say 4 hours and 15 minutes is your guide time. That's what I said to myself. I want to get this done in 4 hours and 15 minutes. I completed it in 4 hours and 28 minutes. So obviously I was off of that timing, but I had to have something to kind of shoot for as a kind of a thing. And kind of keep challenging myself to kind of finish fights as quickly as possible. Make sure you go to a quiet space, and obviously tell people you want to be undisturbed. You don't want to be disturbed for several hours. Also, you need to turn off your notifications on your device. You need to go to the toilet prior, because obviously you don't want to really go during, because it's not really going to help you out. Obviously things happen. You may need to go to the loo in that 4 hours, and juggle it as you will. Make sure to have a drink by you, but take smaller sips of it. That's a Dorky Diggity Dave advice tip there. Make sure to move your head around like this, because obviously you're going to be looking down. Make sure to kind of shake out your hand and kind of tense your hand and your fingers and your wrists. Rotate them round as an exercise, like so. But do make sure that you kind of all circulation is going to your body. If you can hold the device up here like this, like I'm holding this book here, then that's also important. So your kind of like head is putting, because obviously after a while you don't want a sore neck. And yeah, hopefully that this advice video has been helpful to you in kind of giving you an idea of what it's like to do a Legends run. And obviously, like I said at the start of the video, this only applies up until December 31st. Obviously, you'll need to complete the event in the first 2 weeks of December. But up until the point then, on the 1st of January, we will receive 6 stars into the game. So it does mean that a lot of these kind of information and maybe even timings will change dramatically. So thank you very much for watching this video on the Legends run. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Maybe share it to somebody that you might find helpful to them that may be considering doing a Legends run. I've been RichTheMan. Make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Contest Champions based content, and follow me on social media. Link is in the description. Don't forget to set those notifications as on, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.